Computer gremlins. Could not get online. Ended up having to reboot a couple of times. So, again, good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Computers, man. They do what they want to do. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message: Rockwell was right. Somebody's watching. So, people are always watching. Sometimes they're watching a lot, sometimes they're watching a little, sometimes they're watching out of the corner of their eye, but you can rest assured that somebody's watching what you're doing all the time. So, it's up to you to make sure that A, you're the kind of story that's worth watching, but also that they're seeing details that you want them to see. You want to be the kind of story that you're not afraid to see in 3-inch headlines. So, anyway, but before I get into that, today's April 10th, anniversary of Terrible Tuesday, 1979. Massive tornado hit my hometown, Wichita Falls. A lot of stories I could tell about that. Uh, Wichita Falls truly was the city that faith built back then, and rebounded, did great. Um, there are still some scars. You can still go to parts of the town where you can say, "Oh, yeah, something must have happened there." Um, a lot of lives changed. A lot of people passed. They came through it stronger. Um, a lot of people came through it with a good sense of humor. Putting signs up like, "Who says that we don't throw wild parties," and stuff like that. But anyway, uh, God bless Wichita Falls. April 10th, terrible Tuesday, long time ago. Anyway, all right, today's Red Mic message. You don't know who's watching, but somebody is. So it might be your kid, might be a neighbor, a new employee, somebody in the grocery store parking lot, watching to see if you put that basket back or not. Or, somebody whose name you're never going to know, but for some reason they see what you did and it makes them choose a different path. It makes them become a better person or something. It's like that insurance commercial where one person did something and somebody saw it, and then they did something nice for somebody else. Boom, 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 and then it ends up going all the way back full circle to affecting the person to begin with. So don't let the truth of the matter be a burden. Let it be a blessing, an opportunity, a calling. Live up to those quiet moments when you think maybe nobody's watching, but honestly, somebody probably is. When I was a Boy Scout, when I was a Boy Scout leader, we did this at the start of every meeting. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law. That's that's a lot to live up to right out the first rattle out of the box, right? Um, I didn't earn Eagle. My oldest did. Very proud of them. Um, I only made it just shy of first class, so I didn't get very far. A couple of things derailed me more than anything else. First and foremost, knots and lashings. I still, to this day, I'm clueless. You go to Home Depot and you do that special knot where it's got the little loop in it and you tie it up and then you loop it. I still can't do that one right. I've watched people do it. I've done it myself with help. Knots, there's just something in my brain. They do not, they do not tie up right. Uh, I can do, I can do a bowline. I can do, I can do a square knot. Square knot's easy. Right over, left over, right under. You know, but most of the knots and the lashings, I was just clueless. And back then, for first class, you had to do a lot of knots and a lot of lashings, and that was derailing me big time. But then summer camp, playing two below football with a bunch of fellow scouts, and I'm running with the ball. Again, two below football, two hands below the waist. You wouldn't think, oh, bad injury. Yeah. I slipped, landed on my leg underneath my body, got a spiral fracture on my fibula, the skinny bone in my leg. It was a spiral fracture about 4 inches long. I mean, just almost the entire. And then I didn't know it, but that was the end of my scouting career. I was supposed to get tapped into OA that summer. Didn't happen. Never sniffed it again. Um, I ended up spending, well, once I got out of the walking cast, I pretty much spent the rest of my time trying to get back into shape for football. Um, got back to the team. This was my freshman year. Got back to the team third or fourth game of the season, and I thought, man, I'm back. All right, let's go. Let me play, coach. When you start third or fourth game of the season, you miss two-a-days and everything else, you're not going to play much, and I didn't play at all. Had I known that the rehab and that entire season was going to be wasted, I probably would have waited. Not probably, I would have waited. I would have thrown my energies into scouting maybe a little bit more, and I wouldn't have the regret that I have now. I wish I had stuck with scouting and gotten my Eagle. I think about it a lot. It's the biggest regret in my life that I did not stick it out. I did not finish. But I don't let it define me. You can't let your failures or your regrets define you. If you've got that, try to let that help reshape you. You know, I've tried to let the obligations of scouting be part of my daily life. I've tried to live the scout law: trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 12 simple words, not easy to live up to. Um, Easy to remember, but it's a constant striving, it's a constant struggle to try to be who the scout law challenges me to be, almost demands of me to try to be. So through my life, I've tried to do my duty to God, my family, the country, and because it's the right thing to do. Now, secondary benefit of all of that is that if you don't know who's watching, your example you're trying to lead, it becomes your message. It becomes your footprint. It becomes a reflection of who you are and what you stand for. And to me, the legacy of a life well lived isn't your resume or the medals on your wall or the trophies or any of that. It's how do you make people feel when they're around you? How does your work help other people? Have you helped to raise a family that you think you're proud of and you hope you think other people are going to be proud of? Are you helping people walk a little bit taller because of the impact you had on their lives? Maybe because they saw you do the right thing when it would have been easier to, leave that basket next to your car instead of putting it up where it needs to go. I've said this before. You don't have to have a title to lead. You don't need a badge. You don't need a spotlight. You just need to show up every day and be the kind of person you'd be proud to see get recognized for the right reasons in those 3-inch headlines on the front of the paper. So hold the door open for somebody. Tell the truth. Take responsibility. Say thank you. Say you're welcome. Not no problem. Don't say no problem. No problem. No one likes no problem. Say you're welcome. Apologize when you mess up. Pray. Make it part of your life too. Serve where you're needed and love the people that you are blessed to have in your lives. Doesn't get any more complicated than that. Live like somebody is watching, because They probably are, even if you don't know it. And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting or helpful. I hope that you will give me a like, a follow, and a share. And again, I'm sorry for being late today, but the computer gremlins, they were doing what they do. Could not get logged on for the life of me. Thank goodness when I rebooted, everything worked. So I appreciate you so much for being here. Go out there and have a great day. Knock the cover off the ball. And remember, as always, life is short. Drink the bourbon.